YouTube, it's Liz. Welcome back to my channel, or hello if it's your first time stumbling across me. I am a business coach, strategist, mentor, and basically just somebody trying to do what I think you might be doing, which is build an online business. And it's one of the hyperdrive ways of personal development, in my opinion. If I had have been told when I decided to retire from being a program manager, with a job I loved, I didn't love the hours in the end because it took over life. 15-hour days was the norm, typically because I would be managing teams of people doing work on a project all over the world. So me being me, I would be awake for the people in Europe, and then I'd work with the Kiwis and the Aussies, and then I would have the Indians wake up, and so on and so forth. So it got to the point where I just had to make a decision about what did I want my life to actually be. And I'm a passionate dressage rider, hence horses are everywhere in my room. And I wanted more time to ride. I wanted to achieve some of those goals because those goals were everything to me. And honestly, riding has always been my sanity. It is how I've stayed on the planet through the worst times, and really been some of the best times as well, has involved a horse. So when I became a coach, I'd already gone through 3 or 4 schools at that point, starting in 2002. It's showing my age a bit here. Um, and I just thought, yeah, why not? I really enjoy helping people achieve things that they didn't think they could have. And that was my whole career, right? I was always helping the younger team members career map and deal with life and grow and expand and experience in ways that perhaps they had never thought possible because of the type of life I have lived. I have a richness in experience like that. I've lived and worked in most countries, changed my job every year, 7-figure income in the tech industry, and now I run my own business. But here's where I was leading with that. If I'd have been told that it was a personal brand business and that personal brand businesses were just personal development, I probably wouldn't have done it because I probably wouldn't have wanted to sign up for that. And that is really what I want to talk to you about. Inside my club is designed as a business incubator, if you like, for other people on this business building journey who may be struggling to get the results. Because here's what I always know to be true. 2 things. You cannot outperform the way you think. And then the second thing is, you know. And it's never a strategy, it's never a tactic that's going to create this prosperity, the profitability that you want, because it doesn't matter if I give you all a 7-figure strategy to execute, and I can do that. I have those. If you don't execute it, you're at diddly squat. And why wouldn't you be executing it? Because at the end of the day, your thoughts don't match the outcome you want. I'll often talk about it in terms of you have the desire, but you do not have the belief that matches the desire, i.e., you don't believe you can get there anyway. And that's where things fall apart. And I like to call that part of your brain, Larry, the lizard. And why do I call him Larry? Well, he's just your reptilian, your unconscious mind. And I'm sure neuroscientists will be cringing at my descriptions, but this is how I deal with it. I know that my brain is negatively wired, and I know that if I can make myself out to be the villain, I will. That's just how my brain operates. It's a very cheerful, happy place, clearly not. So, what I would find is that when I would start revealing to myself, I have lots of tools inside the club that we all use to get this new awareness about what we're doing, why we're doing it, why we're thinking it, how we're feeling about it. It's key to this process, in my opinion. When we're doing that work, it's very easy to beat ourselves up with it, to make ourselves even worse. And if we make ourselves even worse, we're going to feel even worse, which is not going to allow us to get out of our own way and start executing. Remember that 7-figure strategy I told you about? This is why it works for some, but not for others. So, what do we do about that? So I have to make sure that I'm aware that Larry, whilst as a part of me, is also the part of me that doesn't yet know better. He likes to think what he thinks because his mission in life is to keep me safe. His reality for keeping me safe is to do as little as possible, to expend as little energy as needed, and ideally to do exactly the same thing in exactly the same way every single day. So you can imagine if you haven't developed the habits, the thoughts, the routines, the patterns of a seven-figure business owner, Larry is not going to help you in any way, shape, or form develop them. So that is why we need to open up the curtain of our brains and go, okay, dude, what are we thinking? What is it that's really going on? Your unintentional scripting, I like to call that, that's getting in the way of producing the results you want, of creating the outcome that is your desire. And in my think framework, I often use this as the end. So the end is just no excuses, no negotiations. Excuses and negotiations are simply Larry's way of letting us off the hook. So here's a good example for me. I actually started my business in 2019 and I bought from a coach who promised me a six-figure income in 12 months. And I didn't disbelieve her. I didn't think that that would be anything unusual because look how much money I earned every year as a tech program manager, like 50 times more than that, ridiculous amounts. So I'm thinking, well, how can this business thing be? You just put out your shingle and people will come. No, you might also have experienced or noticed that they don't just come. You actually have to do things. And one of the things you have to do is be visible, get seen. And I remember I set up a Facebook group because they were just coming in and they were very new. And then guess what happened? I got it up to about 1,800 members and then Facebook depublished me. And they didn't just go, dunk, you're out. They gave me 3 months of maybe we'll renew you, maybe we don't. So I was living in that limbo land. So instead of letting myself take control and come up with another solution or plot a way forward, Larry had me making excuses. Oh, I'll just wait and see what they say. There's no point starting a new group and leading everybody there because, I might get the old one back, i.e., do as little as possible. And then once it was depublished properly, guess what the little lizard did then? He said to me, you don't want to use Facebook. Facebook may depublish you. And then I went around all of the houses, finding all of the experts tell me the same thing. Don't rely on social media. So I stopped being visible. It was more comfortable. And that's an example of this no negotiation, no excuses, because when we do that, we're just sabotaging ourselves. As business owners, we have to be very, very resourceful. We have to expect things to go wrong and have a plan for what we will do when they go wrong. I did this all the time in the corporate world, but for some reason, that part of me didn't come into my own business. And it didn't because it was more personal. It was about me. Although I was selling my skill set and my knowledge as a corporate program manager, it wasn't me that was the brand. It's a very weird thing, this feeling. Maybe some of you have got that feeling going on for yourselves at the moment. It's a different identity we need to incorporate. So how do we stop negotiating? And another way that I love to negotiate is there are days where there are big periods in my life where for some reason I'll stop exercising and then I'll decide I have to start exercising again. And if you're anything like me, what you'll find is once you're out there doing it, you're fine. But getting off the couch and out there to do it is the negotiation. I'll do it later. I'll do it tomorrow. Oh, it's too late now. Oh, I don't feel like it now. Right? That's just me not taking control, putting some leadership rules in place and getting out there and doing the doing. And that shows up in your business because how we do one thing is definitely how we do everything. So what we need to do is we just need to be able to go big spotlight, shine it on Larry and get Larry to tell us all of our excuses, all of the things we will negotiate with. And we already know them because we've been using them for years, if not decades. So they're well rehearsed, they're well practiced. We're just not aware of what it means. And when we're trying to build a business, but we're not getting clients and we're not making money and we're doing things and nothing's working and then we're not doing the things that we know we should be doing because they're on that strategy that I just mentioned, then we need to figure that out. And 9 times out of 10, people will do something easier. They'll go look for a shiny object, i.e., I'm going to use this tactic instead, or I'm going to play with my website over here, or maybe I'll just post and ghost, which is my favorite thing, right? I post and ghost, something I have to learn not to do. So we need to get that awareness because when we're aware, we can change. When we're aware, we can see patterns. We can then make a really good decision. Do I like this pattern? Does this pattern give me what I want? And more importantly, I know I do this and I know I must do that. And I know the in between is messy. It's hard. I call it the river of shit. I know everything's going to be yuck. But guess what? In order for me to get what I desire, I have to go through that. I have to grow from that and I have to learn from that. So that's where we use awareness. So from now on, what I want you to do is I want you to start paying close attention to your brain, to your thoughts, to your Larry, whatever you call Larry. If you don't want to call him a name, don't, but I have to call him Larry. And then find out whenever you need to do something in your business. Maybe it is posting. Maybe you need to write an email. Maybe you need to do a launch. Maybe you need to do a podcast episode with somebody. Whatever it is, if you find yourself negotiating or making an excuse, write it down. You don't have to do anything other than that to begin with, because then you're explaining and revealing to yourself a habit, a pattern, or a routine that you may have not been aware of, and now you can get to work to change it. Lots of tools inside the club. I keep saying that, but that's just the way that we work is to get that awareness so that we can then execute the strategies that create the outcomes, the clients, the income. We go to bed happy and proud, not full of regret, not full of remorse, not, oh my God, I should have, but I didn't, excuses or negotiations. So that's the in my think framework. I hope that was useful. If it was, give me a thumbs up. It's always nice to see. Leave a comment if you feel so inclined. Subscribe if you like to listen to my rambles, because they are literally rambles, as you all know. And if there's anything I can do to support or help you, just reach out. You will only hear from me. I don't hire coaches to coach. I am the coach. I just have that strong philosophy in my business that you're paying for me. You should get me. You should get my brain. And here's what I want you to know. Larry can be changed. Doesn't matter how old you are. Doesn't matter if you're 20, 30, 50, 90. He can be changed. You can achieve what you want if you're willing to do what it takes. So that is a much better question. And that's something you may even want to journal about. Am I willing to do what it takes to get X or Y? Other than that, have a nice day and I will catch you on the next one. Take care, everyone.